Welcome to Wisdom Foundry. We live in a time where everyone is speaking, yet very few are truly listening. Every day we are flooded with opinions, headlines, trends, predictions, arguments, and distractions. The world has never been louder. But perhaps the greater question is this: how do we hear what truly matters when everything demands our attention? Today, we're exploring a timeless question. How do we stand in the noise of time without losing ourselves? Joining me are Bryan and Marie. Thank you both for being here. It's great to be here, Jeff, and I think this conversation couldn't be more relevant because many people are exhausted today, not because they're doing too much physically, but because they're carrying too much mentally.
Absolutely. We have access to more information than any generation before us, yet many people than ever. It's almost as though information has increased, but wisdom has become scarce.
That's an interesting distinction. Information and wisdom aren't the same thing. We often assume that because we know more, we're becoming wiser. But are we?
Not necessarily. Information tells you what is happening. Wisdom helps you understand what matters. You can know every headline and still have no direction for your life.
And I think that's the challenge of our generation. We've become consumers of information rather than stewards of understanding. We scroll endlessly, weaklessly, we react instantly, but we rarely stop long enough to reflect.
The Bible repeatedly speaks about wisdom as something that must be sought intentionally. It doesn't just arrive because we're exposed to more content. Exactly. One of the greatest deceptions of our age is confusing exposure with growth. Watching 10 hours of content doesn't necessarily change your life. Applying one principle consistently might.
That's powerful, because many people feel productive when they're simply consuming.
They mistake activity for progress. Let's talk about noise itself. What exactly is the noise of time?
I would define it as anything that competes for your attention but contributes little to your purpose. The noise changes every generation. The principle remains the same.
For some people, it's social media. For others, it's comparison. For others, it's fear. Noise isn't always external. Sometimes the loudest noise exists within us.
That's profound. Sometimes the battle isn't the world around us. It's the conversation happening inside us. Fear, doubt, regret, anxiety. The voices that constantly ask, what if I fail? What if I'm behind? What if I'm not enough? Those voices can become louder than truth.
And that's why silence is becoming a lost discipline. Most people are uncomfortable being alone with their thoughts. They immediately reach for a screen.
Yet some of history's greatest insights emerged from solitude. Moses, David, Jesus. Many transformative moments happened away from crowds, because clarity often requires separation. You cannot hear whispers in the middle of a shouting crowd.
And God's voice is often described as still and small, not because he is weak, but because wisdom usually requires attentiveness.
Let's connect this to purpose. How does someone remain focused on purpose while surrounded by noise? Vision. Without vision, every voice becomes important. When you know where you're going, you become more selective about what you listen to.
That's true. Purpose creates filters. It helps you distinguish between what is urgent and what is important.
I think many people are suffering from what I call attention poverty. They have goals, they have dreams, but they cannot sustain focus. And focus is becoming one of the rarest commodities of our age. The ability to concentrate deeply may become a superpower.
Not just concentration, discernment. Because not everything that is good is necessary. Not everything that is popular is valuable.
That reminds me of a timeless teaching on vision. A person without a compelling vision becomes vulnerable to distraction. Absolutely. Vision organizes your life. Distraction fragments it.
And Scripture repeatedly calls us to renew our minds. That's an active process. It means choosing what we allow to shape our thinking.
Let's talk about practical wisdom. Suppose someone watching today feels overwhelmed by the noise. Where do they begin? I would start with elimination. Remove unnecessary voices. Not every opinion deserves your attention.
I would start with Scripture, because truth provides a stable reference point. When everything else shifts, truth remains.
My answer would be reflection. Most people don't need more information. They need more interpretation. That's excellent, because wisdom is often born through reflection, not reaction.
And reflection creates space for transformation. You begin to ask, what is God teaching me? What truly matters? Who am I becoming?
As we begin to close, I'd like each of us to answer one final question. What is one thing people must remember while standing in the noise of time? The loudest voice is not always the wisest voice. Seek truth, not volume.
Protect your attention. Your attention eventually becomes your life. Where it goes, your future follows.
And my thought would be this: the world will always be noisy. There will always be another trend, another controversy, another distraction. But wisdom invites us to step back, listen carefully, and align ourselves with what is timeless. Because in a world obsessed with what is urgent, the wise remain anchored to what is eternal. I genuinely love to hear your reflection. Thank you for joining us on Wisdom Foundry. Until next time, think clearly, live wisely.